Good morning, baseball fans, and welcome to this edition of MIAA Tournament Baseball here on ACTV. Robbie Alexander here to take you through the action with my colleague Cody Alexander. Game 3 of the tournament. It's Adrian College, number 1 seed, versus the number 2 seed Alma Scots, who are the home team today. Both teams won their collective games yesterday. Adrian beat Calvin, and Alma beat Hope in a back-and-forth game that included 4 different lead changes, and they eventually took the cake by a score of 10-8. So we'll see how this pans out. Winner of this game will punch a one-way ticket to the finals tomorrow afternoon. On the mound today for the Alma Scots is Dylan Zendel, and what do you have for him, Cody?
Yeah, Zenzel is having a pretty solid year so far. In 10 appearances and 8 games started, he owns a 3-3 record, a 3.19 ERA, 56 strikeouts, which leads the teams to 17 walks. Also leads the team with 5 complete games under his belt. So it should be a good pitching matchup today with Pierce Banks on the mound for the Bulldogs.
We'll see if Zenzel can stifle this Bulldog lineup, who scored 9 runs yesterday. They beat Calvin by a score of 9-2. And it looks like we're ready to start this game number 3 of the 2018 MIAA tournament. Center fielder Zach Schering steps in and takes a first pitch fastball for a strike to start this day, 0-1. Another fastball. This one hangs just a little bit high, evens the count up at 1-1. Zach Schering yesterday in game number 1 was 2 for 5, scored 3 runs. I'll look to keep that going today. Another fastball almost at the knees. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Oh, fouled back into the parking lot. It looks like it's going to fall safely out there. It's knotted up at 2. Zenzel working at a fast pace today. The 2-2 pitch. It's a sharp hit into center field right at Caravala. Make an easy catch for out number 1. That's going to bring up the left fielder Gunnar Rainey. 0 for 3 yesterday, but reached base on a hit by pitch. Still looking for his first hit of the tournament. First pitch to him, swinging, but it's going to foul that one off on the right side. Another one, this one into right field, high fly ball. Minato giving chase, and he will make the catch up against the foul line. Quick 2 outs on the Bulldogs here in inning number 1. So up now is the second baseman, number 3, Brady Wood. 2 for 5 in yesterday's game, had 4 RBI, so definitely the big player in that one. He shows bunt but pulls back for ball 1.
Wood doing nothing but hitting since he's entered the Bulldog lineup, a .419 average on the year. Yesterday's 4 RBI day puts him at 30 overall. He's also scored 30 runs.
Came onto the team as an outfielder, has been their starting second baseman, so it's been fun to see him make that transition, and doesn't look like it's affected his hitting at all.
No, and it just illustrates that as young players, you should be pretty versatile in the field, because if there's a block in front of you in terms of depth at a position, you can always switch over if your bat's good enough.
Wood up in the count right now, 3 balls and 1 strike. Pitch from Zenzel. There's a fly ball into left center. Caravala and Anstanding converge, but it's going to be Caravala who will make the catch. 3 up, 3 down to start this game. We'll head to the bottom of the first inning scoreless. Keep it tuned right here for Alma versus Adrian in the MIAA tournament here on ACTV. Welcome back to the MIAA tournament, game number 3, bottom of inning number 1. Scoreless as the Bulldogs go down in short order. And it's the Adrian College number 2 pitcher on the staff, Pierce Banks. He looks to give the Bulldogs a good start here on defense. First pitch outside to Max Trucks for ball 1.
Banks has a 5-2 record in 10 games started this year. Got off to a bit of a rough start, but has since honed it in. Owns a 4.68 ERA. His 55 strikeouts, does 27 walks.
And he gets Trucks to roll over on that one. Ground ball to Woods. Banks will cover himself. And it's the good old 4-1 put out for out number 1. That's going to bring up left fielder Jordan Anstandig. Digs into the left-hander's batter's box. First pitch from Banks. Swinging on that one right to the first baseman, Hunter Hayes. And a quick 2 outs for the Bulldogs. Now bring up the shortstop, Van Acker.
Well, both teams so far very aggressive in their at-bats. Zenzel and Banks both pounding the strike zone early, so quick pace so far, a lot of swings.
There's a first pitch fastball in there for a strike. And yeah, 2 of the faster paces we've seen through the season. A lot of pitchers, they like to take their time, but both Banks and Zenzel really pushing the pace. As Acker hits a fly ball into left field. Rainey up against the track, but will make a couple steps in. The Bulldogs return the favors. 3 up, 3 down for the Scots. And we'll head to the top of inning number 2, still scoreless. We'll be back with more MIAA baseball here on ACTV. Four, 5, 6 due up for the Bulldogs to start inning number 2, still scoreless. As both Banks and Zenzel put the lineups down in short order. And Zenzel continues that here in inning number 2 as a first pitch fastball's in there for strike 1. Hayes fooled on that off speed. He's quickly in the hole now, 0-2. Lining up defensively for the Alma Scots. Coyne throwing down the signs behind the dish. Have Max Trucks at first base. Huff at third as he gets that ground ball and will throw across the diamond for out number 1. Acker at shortstop, Finzel at second. And in the outfield left to right, Anstandig, Caravala, and Bonato, who was the final player of the week for the MIAA, finishing everything off. So with 1 out now, that's going to bring up the third baseman, Dugan Darnell. 2 for 5 in yesterday's game, had 2 RBI to his name. And he'll take a first pitch into the number on the back of the jersey, hit by pitch, and he'll take his base. First base runner of the game for either side. So I'll bring up designated hitter Jason Croce. 1 for 4 yesterday, also had an RBI. First pitch outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Pickoff move, keeping Darnell honest over at first base. Wind has done a 180 yesterday, blowing from right to left. This time blowing out to right field as Zenzo throws that pickoff attempt away, and Darnell will move up to second base easily. Runner in scoring position for the Bulldogs. Just a little too much mustard on that one. An early mistake here. Still 1 ball, no strikes on Jason Croce. The pitch. Takes a fastball high. 2 balls, no strikes. Another ball high. Zenzo slips a little bit on the mound out there. Croce up in the count now. 3 balls and no strikes. The pitch. That fastball finds the outer black. 3-1. Another one finds the outer half. And Zenzo battles back. Now a full count, 3-2 here with 1 out. Finzel shaded towards the bag. Big hole on the right side, and Croce will take ball 4 low. Bulldogs have runners on first and second here with 1 out. And up now is the right fielder, number 21, Tristan Richardson. Yes, you heard me correctly. That's number 21. A couple Bulldogs, different numbers when they're wearing the Rhodes uniforms. A little bit of a mix-up there. Brady Wood, usually number 11. He's sporting number 3 today as Richardson fouls that bunt attempt off on the left side. Clouds hovering over Nicolay Field today. Supposed to be a warm one. Hopefully the weather holds off. The 0-1 pitch floats on the outer half of the plate. A little curveball right there. And Richardson quickly in the hole now, 0-2. Payoff pitch from Zenzel. Ground ball right back up the box. Acker has it, flips to second for 1. Relay, high throw to the fence. Darnell's gonna race home. And the Bulldogs capitalize on an error and take an early 1-0 lead. Nice feed there from Acker. Finzel rushed the throw a little bit. Darnell, with his speed, scores easily. 2 outs now on the Bulldogs, but they still have a man on first. So that'll bring up the catcher, Frankie Resto. 2 for 4 yesterday's game, had 2 runs scored, and he'll take a first pitch strike. Now, if you've noticed an absence of Cody's voice right now, he ran to the concession stands. For some reason, he just wanted a really hot beverage. So it's going to be a warm summer, wanted to get it in while he could. Frankie pops that one up, and Caravallo will come few steps from the infield to put it away for out number 3, but not before the Bulldogs score the first run of the day on 2 errors by the Scots. We'll see how they respond. We head to the bottom of the second, 1-0 Adrian. Keep it tuned right here to ACTV. Throw down from Frankie Resto means we are ready to start the bottom half of inning number 2. 1-0 Adrian lead. Capitalized on a hit by pitch and a couple of errors by the Scots. 4, 5, 6 due up for Alma, starting with the third baseman Logan Huff. 2 for 4 in yesterday's game against the Hope Flying Dutch. First pitch from Banks. Fastball inside for ball 1 as color man Cody returns. Cody, did you find that hot beverage you were looking for?
No, only cold beverages today.
Well, it is summer. You know, you really need to start thinking about what the concession stands might have. Might do a little better luck there as Huff rolls that one over. Torreno, long throw. And a nice pick by Hayes to finish off the play. 1 out. So up now is the right fielder, Matt Minato. Minato 1 for 3 in yesterday's game. Scored a run, 2 RBI. Also walked while he was at the plate. First pitch from Pierce Banks. Bounces in the turf for ball 1.
As you mentioned earlier, Robbie, Minato was the final position player of the week in the final regular season week of MIAA action. He was 9 for 16, which was good for a 563, 588, 938 slash line. Also drove in 9 runs, scored 3, and hit 1 out of the park.
Definitely a threat and somebody that the Scots will look towards in this tournament. The 2-0 pitch. Hard ground ball, but right to the shortstop Torreno. Another long throw, but he'll make it easily. 2 up, 2 down on the Scots. It'll be the second baseman, Ben Finzel. Looks to be the first Scots runner of the day.
Well, as we've mentioned in previous games where we've seen Banks pitch, he's got a lot of sink to his fastball, just natural downward movement.
Hayes looks at that one, as well as Woods and Richardson, but it'll find its way out of play for strike 1. Defensively for the Bulldogs, we've gone through most of the names so far, but we'll tell you where they are on defense. Resto laying down the signs behind the dish. Hayes over at first base was the MIAA position player of the year. Brady Wood at second. Dugan Darnell at third base. Jordan Torreno at shortstop. And in the outfield, left to right, we have Rainey Sharing and Tristan Richardson. Breaking ball, that one fouled off towards the back 40. It's quickly 0-2 now on Ben Finzel. Should he keep the inning going, that'd bring up the designated hitter, Alex Dwan. Payoff pitch, high and at the head of Finzel. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I think that was just a curveball that didn't snap off the right way.
That's exactly what it was.
One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch from Banks. Another one high. Finzel able to hang up his swing on the appeal over to first base. But Nicholas Sweeney, the umpire, says that he indeed did not cross that plane. Count even now at 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. Line drive into the left center field gap, and that's going to fall and split the outfielders. Sharing able to cut it off. Long throw into second base. But Finzel will coast in with a 2-out double.
That looked like a hanging 2-2 breaking ball just right over the heart of the plate. Didn't get it down around the knees enough. And Finzel just does a nice job of splitting the gap. Sharing, excellent job of cutting it off. Not sure if it would have hit the wall or gone over, but possibly saving a triple there.
And for a second, I thought it was going to bounce right over his head. So runner in scoring position now, 2 outs, and it's the designated hitter, Alex Dewan, will foul that one straight back. I think everybody in the press box was steely nerved on that one. No flinches on the sheet.
I don't think we had a flinch in yesterday's game either.
I don't think so. And there was a couple close calls. I know we had dirt sprayed on us at one point, which was pretty impressive considering this field is all turf. A 1 pitch to Dwan. Fastball high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dwan 3 for 4 in yesterday's contest. Scored a run, also had an RBI. Banks gets the sign from Resto. 1-1 pitch. Can't check his swing. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Payoff pitch from Pierce Banks. Breaking ball fouled back, and Dwan stays alive.
Yeah, Banks is going to want to put that pitch a little lower next time. Still a little too far up around the knees. With a 1-2 pitch, can still afford to waste one, I guess you could say, but if he starts it after the knees, he might get him chasing in the turf.
We'll see if he does that right here. The 1-2 pitch. Goes with a high fastball, tipped into the glove of Resto. First strikeout of the day for Banks, and we'll head to the top of inning number 3. Adrian holds a 1-0 lead. Don't touch that clicker. We'll be right back with more MIAA tournament baseball here on ACTV. You heard it there from our PA announcer, Dave Van Giesen. 9-1-2 due up for the Dogs. Treno shows bunt. Will take strike number 1. Oh for 4 in yesterday's game. Treno, the only Bulldog unable to reach base, actually, in that contest against the Calvin Knights, and he's quickly in the hole now again. 0-2. AF pitch from Zenzel. Fouled back, and Torreno stays alive. And speaking of Calvin, looks like they've just arrived for their 2 o'clock game. Torreno hard down the first base line, but a great diving play, both to get it and to get the out. And the first baseman, Max Trucks, and an impressive out number 1.
Yeah, a little chopper up the first base line. Zenzel a late break to first base, so having to take the bag himself. Nice job all around.
We'll head back to the top of the Adrian College lineup. It's the center fielder, Zach Schering. Flew out to the center fielder his first time up. And this time he'll hit a line drive that falls in front of him. Bulldogs get their first hit of the day here with 1 out. Up now is the left fielder, Gunnar Rainey. Flew out to the right fielder his first time up. Pickoff move keeps him honest. You know, when I first looked up, I thought it was just a bunch of Alma players walking towards us, and I got a little confused for a second. Similar colors between the two schools. But, nope. It is the number 4 seed, Calvin.
See, I'm blocked by the wall, but I'm peeking over now, and I can see where the confusion would come in. I had that exact same thought, even though you just told me that it wasn't them.
Thought I was missing some information for a second. 2 balls, no strikes on Gunnar Rainey. Another pickoff move by Zenzel. Breaking ball stays high, and Rainey up in the count now, 3-0. Pitch from Zenzel. Now on high and outside, and Rainey draws a walk. Bulldogs, runners on first and second now with 1 out. I'll bring up the second baseman, Brady Wood. Flew out to the center fielder his first time up. That ended the first inning. Pitch from Zenzel. Fastball at the belt for strike 1. Clouds look menacing, but it's supposed to not rain. It's supposed to be just cloudy, so we hope that stays the forecast today. There's a high pop-up. That one's going to find its way foul on the right side.
Yeah, today shouldn't be too bad of a day for baseball. It's tomorrow where Mother Nature is going to try to throw some winter memories back at us. We looked this morning, a high of 49 for tomorrow.
And our producer, Sean, does a little bit of disbelief on his face right there as Wood rung up looking right there, and there are 2 outs. So it's the heavy hitting first baseman, Hunter Hayes. Look for a 2-out RBI opportunity right here. He grounded out to third base his first time up. First pitch, curveball in there for strike 1.
And Zenzel just continues to pound the strike zone with a pace quick enough to where it's making these Bulldog hitters a little uneasy.
It's that one foul towards the back 40. Quickly in the hole now, 0-2. Well, should Hayes keep this inning alive, that'd bring up the third baseman, Dugan Darnell, who has scored the lone run of the ball game so far. Pitch from Zenzel. Hard ground ball over to the third baseman, Huff. Routine play for out number 3. Bulldogs get 2 on but can't drive them in, and we'll head to the bottom of inning number 3. Still a 1-0 Adrian College lead. Keep it tuned right here to MIAA Tournament Baseball on ACTV. Coyne, Caravala, and Truck set to lead things off here in the bottom of inning number 3. Adrian holds on to a 1-0 lead. As pitcher Pierce Banks had a relatively smooth sail so far. First pitch fastball in on the inner half of the plate for strike 1. Jarrett Coyne 0 for 3 in yesterday's game, but he did score a run. Bender in there, unable to find the strike zone. His home plate umpire Daniel Jeffrey says it needs to come up just a little bit. 1-1 pitch to Coyne. Sky high pop up on the infield. Darnell few steps in and will make the catch for out number 1.
Banks might have gotten away with a hanger on that one. Usually high pop-ups on the infield indicate that the hitter just missed it.
Lucky break for the Bulldogs will bring them their first out of the inning and bring up the number 9 hitter Pete Caravala up to the plate. First pitch fastball outside for ball 1. Caravala 1 for 3 in yesterday's contest against Hope. Runs scored, also had an RBI. 1-0 pitch. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Third baseman Dugan Darnell drawn in on the infield turf. As Caravala puts a charge into that one. Richardson, few steps back and will haul it in for out number 2. So with 2 down now, that will bring up the first baseman Max Trucks. Grounded out to Brady Wood at second base his first time up.
Trucks actually a home run shy of the cycle yesterday.
Had a career day. He fouls that one back over the stands for strike 1. Yeah, 3 for 5, 2 runs scored, 4 RBI. So just like Adrian's Brady Wood, carrying this Alma Scots lineup through the first game of the tournament. He's fooled on that off speed. Down in the hole now, 0-2.
Also showed he can flash the leather with that play up the line in the top half of the inning.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Payoff pitch from Banks. Get some fishing for that off speed, but can't connect. The Scots go down in short order. We'll head to the top of inning number 4. 1-0 Adrian College lead. We'll be back with more MIAA Tournament Baseball on your home for Adrian College Athletics. This is ACTV. Top of inning number 4 here in game number 3 between Adrian College and the Alma College Scots. As Third baseman Dugan Darnell in to lead things off. If you're just joining us, Robbie Alexander, joined by my color commentator and colleague, Cody Alexander. Adrian with the lone run so far today, actually scored by the current batter, Dugan Darnell. He reached on a hit by pitch, later scored on 2 errors. That's all we've seen so far. Both team with 1 hit, but there might be number 2 right there as Darnell splits the outfielders. He's going to get a couple bases. It's a matter of he'll get 2 or 3. He'll slow up, and it's a leadoff double for Dugan Darnell.
Senzel started him off with a couple of inside pitches. That one on the outer part of the plate. And as we've mentioned before, Darnell likes to stand right on top of that plate. Gets his hands out and just splits the alleyway.
Well, since he came off the DL on Friday, he has just been lighting up these MIAA pitchers. Definitely a blow to the Bulldog lineup once he went out, so Coach Rainey and the rest of the Bulldogs definitely happy to have him back for playoff time. So designated hitter Jason Croce takes ball number 1. Walked his first time up. Will later get out via the fielder's choice. The error on the back end of that play led to the only run of the game. Another ball low, 2-0. Corners pulled in for the Scots, including Trucks, who's a few steps in on the grass. Croce shows bunt down the third base line. Darnell will take third. Croce, close play at first, but they got him. Sacrifice bunts and the potential second run of the game, now 90 feet away.
Picture perfect bunt there by Croce. That's exactly what he's supposed to do. Runner on second, put it down the third base line. Darnell easily moves up to third on that one.
So with 1 out, that brings up the right fielder Tristan Richardson. So watch that first pitch curveball from Zenzel for a strike. The 0-1. Fastball hits the outer black. Richardson quickly in the hole now, 0-2. Zenzel continues that fast pace we've seen today. The 0-2 pitch in the dirt, bounces away. Darnell's going to hold up at third base. 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Tristan Richardson. It looks like the Hope Flying Dutch have also joined us on this MIAA tournament day. Day number 2. This is the day where things get interesting. Richardson fouls that one back towards 223 to stay alive.
I know we both woke up this morning with a lot of excitement, and we're only in the booth. We can only imagine the excitement that's being felt down there on the field today.
1-2 pitch from Zenzel in the turf, evens it up, 2-2. Yeah, it's our first tournament we've been a part of, so definitely enjoying ourselves so far. 2-2 pitch. It's a fly ball into left field, and standing going back to the track will make the catch. Darnell tags, but he drops the ball. Second run scored of the day, and Richardson.
They're going to say that he's out and that he dropped it on the transfer.
That's what I was just about to say. Nonetheless, Bulldogs scored the second run of the day on a sacrifice fly by Tristan Richardson. Coach Rainey wants to have a quick conversation. Umpires will convene. That's first base umpire Nick Sweeney and the second base umpire Arthur Castillo. Daniel Jeffrey out to join them now.
It's always a tough play to call. From up here, it looked like he made the catch and just rushed the transfer. And I think that's kind of where the discrepancy comes in, because he transferred the ball so quickly or attempted the transfer so quickly. I think that's why it might have looked like he dropped the ball.
So your call is about as good as mine. I was watching Darnell over at third base as the umpires will rule him out. Sacrifice fly for Richardson. Now 2 outs on the Bulldogs, but you're right. Those plays hard to call just because of how fast of the nature it is.
Yeah, and I think the right call was made. It looked like he did make the catch, and he just rushed the transfer.
So base is empty, 2 outs, and that brings up the catcher, Frankie Resto. Curveball inside for ball 1. Darnell has now scored both runs of the day. Resto fouls that one off towards the Calvin and Hope gathering. One ball and 1 strike. Pitch from Zenzel. Fouls that one towards the Alma dugout. Now behind. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Payoff pitch to Resto. Fool drops to a knee. He went fishing but can't catch anything. And the Bulldogs head to the bottom of inning number 4 with a fresh 2-0 lead. We'll see how the Scots respond. Keep it tuned right here to ACTV. Welcome back to MIAA Tournament Baseball. Game number 3, bottom of inning number 4. Adrian with a 2-0 lead. 2-3-4 due up, starting with the left fielder, Jordan Anstandig. Just a quick note for the elimination game at 2 o'clock. Calvin won the coin toss, so they will be the home team against Hope. First pitch fastball from Banks, just a little bit outside, 1-0.
Anstandig came into today with a .256 batting average, 31 runs batted in.
That fastball finds the knees, 1-1.
Grounded out to Hayes at first, his first time up.
That one fouled back on the left side. Quickly in the hole now, 1-2. 1 hit so far for Alma. A 1-2 pitch from Banks. Soft tapper up in front of the mound. Banks will make the throw for out number 1. So that brings up the shortstop, Van Acker. Flew out to left field his first time up. Fastball, inner half of the plate for strike 1.
Acker currently second in the MIAA with 15 two-baggers.
Watches a off-speed pitch, just a little bit low. 1-1. Fastball stays high. 2 balls, 1 strike.
One thing I've noticed with Banks today, usually with guys who have natural sink to their fastball, they like to work the bottom of the zone. But Banks locating a lot of his fastballs up in the zone, and Alma swinging through most of them.
As Acker did right there. Count knotted up at 2-2. Well, we've seen Banks have a couple small discussions with the home plate umpire, saying that he needs to get the ball up a little bit, so it looks like Daniel Jeffrey a higher strike zone today. As Acker fouls that one back to stay alive. Still 2-2. Pitch from Pierce Banks. Taps that one, fouls it off the body, stays alive. A little bit of damage if this was a video game, you know, off the body, and we'll scratch that off the list of metaphors.
I don't know what kind of baseball game that you're playing.
I'm talking about those old style arcade fighting games, the ones I can never figure out. We'll go with that. The 2-2 pitch. Inside, 3-2.
The ones where we would just go up and start pressing random buttons.
Oh, yeah.
And hoping that we knew what we were doing, but we really didn't know what we were doing.
And the results showed. I don't think I ever won one of those fighting arcade video games.
Gave our thumbs a workout, though.
Oh, yeah. Primed for the millennial texting as Acker fouls that one back, in a battle now ensuing between him and Pierce Banks. Wind has died down just a little bit, but still pretty nice breeze from left to right. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. The pitch. Fly ball into left center field. Sharing and Rainey both chasing, but it'll be Sharing to haul it in for out number 2. So that brings up third baseman Logan Huff. Grounded out to the shortstop his first time up. The sun's starting to peek through the clouds here. Almost said crowds. I meant clouds.
We know what you were saying. The Alma third baseman, a second-team All-MIAA selection. Came into today hitting .351 with a .473 slugging percentage. 24 RBI. He leads the conference with 4 sac flies.
He hits a fly ball into right field. Richardson gets caught in the wind a little bit as he had to make a little bit of a loop-de-loop, but he'll haul it in for out number 3. And the Scots once again go down in short order. We'll head to the top of inning number 5, 2-0 Adrian College lead. And don't you touch that clicker. Don't you swipe that phone screen, because we'll be right back with more MIAA tournament baseball on ACTV. 9-1-2 due up for the Bulldogs to start the 5th inning as they hold a 2-0 lead over the Alma Scots. Clouds starting to roll in again. And a fly ball into left center field. Caravala and Ann Standig converge, but Caravala will haul it in for the first out. We'll head back to the top of the Alma lineup. Excuse me, Adrian, I've looked at the score sheet. The first time I've done that today. I'm used to Adrian being the home team. All right, here we go.
We'll give you that one.
So I wrote it down. I'll write it down again. We go back to the top of the Adrian lineup. Zach Schering. He's 1 for 2 so far today, a single and a fly out. Fouls that one back.
I made a weird noise.
Was that his bat or was that somebody in the dugout? Because that did not sound natural.
Had to have been. If it was his bat, I feel like he would be switching it right now.
Yeah. Fouls that one back into the netting. Did we get a flinch? Did you flinch, Sean? He did not flinch. He's holding strong through the tournament. Sharing in a hole now. 0-2. Pitch from Zenzel. Hard ground ball over to Acker. Strong throw and a stretch on the other end from Trucks for out number 2. So striding up to the plate now is the left fielder Gunnar Rainey. 0 for 1 so far, a fly out and a walk. He would later be stranded at first base as the next 2 would go down in order. Bluffs a bunt for ball 1. Shows bunt again. This time he'll fall for a strike, even at 1. And Zenzel continues to just pound that strike zone, work fast. There's a shallow pop-up on the infield. Finzel will haul it in. Bulldogs go down 1-2-3. This game is just blazing by. We'll head to the bottom of inning number 5. 2-0 Adrian College lead. We'll be back with more MIAA baseball here on ACTV. Five, 6, 7 due up for Alma. Bottom of the 5th inning. 2-0 Adrian College lead. We continue to cruise through this one. 4.5 innings, and we have not even reached the hour mark yet. And it looks like that's going to continue as Minato skies a fly ball into center field. And Schering will haul it in. 1 pitch, 1 out. We'll see if we can get through a strong 5 innings. If we get this in 3 minutes, we'll have 5 innings done in an hour. Unheard of.
It's Greg Maddox-esque out there by both pitchers today.
A great job. They both want that one-way ticket to tomorrow. Of course, whoever loses this game will play the winner of the next game at 5 o'clock. In an elimination game, and that fly ball by Finzel over the head of Richardson, and he'll cruise in with a 1-out double. He put a charge into that one.
And Banks has been working the outside part of the plate for most of the day. And that's the first good swing that we've seen from an Alma hitter, taking it the other way and just completely burns Richardson on that one. A nice piece of hitting by Finzel.
And with a runner in scoring position, that Alma bench is alive right now. It's a designated hitter, Alex Dwan, looking for an RBI right here. He had one of them yesterday. He's looking to add to that. Struck out his first time up. That ended the second inning. Now watch a fastball high for ball one.
That was actually Finzel's second double of the contest. Had that one in the left center gap the first time, so just using the entire field today.
He's hoping he doesn't get stranded like last time. 1-0 pitch from Banks, finds the inner black. 1 ball and 1 strike. As an added note, those 2 doubles, the only hits of the day so far for Alma.
Only 2 base runners, too. Has not issued a walk or hit a batter.
One pitch to Dwan. Just a little too far inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Darnell drawn in case there's a bunt. Hunter Hayes at first playing back. Banks will look to second base. Keeps Finzel honest.
Neither Torrento or Woods at second are keeping Finzel close at second.
2 balls, 1 strike. Offering from Banks. Just a little high and a little inside. Dwan ahead in the count now. 3 balls and 1 strike. Three-one pitch. Big cut there. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Banks takes a little off on that one. Catcher Jarrett Coyne lurking on deck. The 3-2. Fouled back into the parking lot. Dwan stays alive.
And this is not an Alma team that is going to give up easily. Got off to an early 3-0 lead yesterday in the first game against Hope. And as we were saying throughout the Adrian broadcast, it was a back and forth game. They eventually came out on top. So a 2-run deficit is definitely not going to deter them.
A ball high. Alma now has something cooking. Runners on first and second with only 1 out. Resto and Hayes will come out to have a meeting with their pitcher. Well, we talked about it in the home opener when they played Alma. Alma won the last game of that 4-game series, but you and me both said it that these Scots were going to be a tough team to beat and that we would probably see them in this tournament.
Yeah, they finished 6th in the conference last year, but an excellent turnaround. They finished 3rd this year, and they just look like a completely different team. Could have easily been a 1-0 ball game at this point. A couple of defensive miscues back in the second, but still 2 runs is not a comfortable lead for Adrian at all right now.
And this team just does not quit, which is probably the best quality you could have in a ball club. Jarrett Coyne up in the count right now. 1 ball and no strikes. Pitch from Banks. It's a line drive. That's going to find the left center gap and drive in at least one. This Coyne, big turn at first. He'll head back. And it's an RBI single. Finzel will score, and the Scots cut the lead in half. It's 2-1.
So another breaking ball on the outside part of the plate. This one up a little bit, though. And Coyne able to get around on it and just punch it into that left center gap.
Still only one out. That's going to bring up center fielder Pete Caravala. Runners on the corners. Dwan at third, Coyne at first now. First pitch, that one's going to bloop into left field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Dwan's going to score to tie it up. And 2 consecutive RBI singles. This one by Pete Caravala. And we have a new ball game here in the bottom of inning number 5.
Alma poised to take the lead. Still runners on first and second, only one out.
And we're now back to the top of the lineup. It's the first baseman, Max Trucks. 0 for 2 so far today, a strikeout and a ground out. He had the 4 RBI day yesterday, so definitely somebody that the Bulldogs do not want to mess around with. First pitch breaking ball hangs just a little bit outside, 1-0.
It seems like Banks always runs into one of these innings, whether it be the 5th or the 6th, after getting a quick first pitch fly out to center field. It has gone double, walk, single, single.
That one low, 2 balls and no strikes.
Lucky for Adrian, though. They are in a position to where a ground ball could get them out of this inning.
Head coach Craig Rainey calls a timeout to talk to his infield. And Cody, you've been through that time and time again. What do you think he's telling his pitcher right now?
I think he's just trying to get him to settle down. Was just completely rolling before this inning. Had only given up the double to Finzel back in the second. And like I said, a ground ball gets you out of this inning, so just attack the zone low, and try to get that ground ball to put the bats back at the plate.
Infield will retake their positions. 2 balls, no strikes on the leadoff man, Max Trucks. Banks taking his time. The offering to Trucks. Ground ball back to Banks. He'll have a throw to first. Nice pick by Torreno for 1. Relay safe at first. As Banks bobbled the ball just a little bit. They get out number 2, but Alma still has runners in the corners.
An excellent job by Torreno just getting that throw off. It's not a great throw by Pierce after the bobble, but he was able to dig it, so a great play by the shortstop.
Not only to throw it, but a nice pick on his end, too, to make sure they got at least 1 out of that. So with 2 outs, it's the left fielder Jordan Anstandig. Potential go-ahead run 90 feet away. Bulldogs have a force at first and second. First pitch from Banks. Line drive right back up the gut for a base hit. Coyne comes in to score, and Alma now has a 3-2 lead here in game number 3. Runners on first and second. It's number 3 hitter Van Acker up to the plate. 0 for 2 so far today with 2 flyouts. 5 hits now for the Scots, and it looks like this might be a repeat of yesterday's game against Hope.
Well, Banks goes to his off speed a lot. were fooled.
Ooh, just like that.
The first 4 innings, but this time around, it looks like they've finally been able to time up both the movement and the speed. As that one, not a bad pitch, middle but low in the zone, and he just serves it right back up the box. That was Standig with the RBI single.
0-1 pitch from Banks. Another breaking ball down the third base line, but foul. Acker in a hole now, 0-2. Trucks on second base and Standig on first. Banks gets his sign from Resto. Payoff pitch. High. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Although this might not necessarily be an elimination game, you're definitely going to be in a lot better shape just getting the free pass into tomorrow, especially your pitching staff. And Alma, who used both their 1 and 2 starters yesterday against Hope, would definitely like to get the win here and get their staff a break.
Fooled on that off speed, but he gets a piece of it, says the home plate umpire. And Acker keeps his at-bat going. But yes, Cody, definitely a competitive advantage you want in this tournament.
Franzak threw 60 pitches yesterday in the contest. But if they can win this game and move on to tomorrow, I'm sure that would be enough rest for him to get the start in the first game.
Again, fooled on the off speed, can't handle it. Resto has trouble getting the ball, but will make a strong throw to first to end the inning. Alma sends 8 to the plate and now have a 3-2 lead. We'll see how the Adrian Bulldogs respond as we head to the top of inning number 6 here in Game 3 of the MIAA tournament. Keep it tuned right here to see what happens on ACTV. Part of the order due up for the Bulldogs. They now trail by 1 in the top of the 6th inning. As Alma shows why they're the number 2 seed. Send 8 to the plate, but Brady Wood ropes that one right down the left field line for a base hit, maybe even more. He's off for second, and Standig will get it in. And the Bulldogs show the Scots they're not done yet. A leadoff double by Brady Wood. And we are seeing an exciting game so far.
Alma brings a 1-run lead, their first of the game into this inning, but they, like you said, Robbie, 3 with the double. Now they have to face 4, 5, 6.
They had 4 lead changes, as we said yesterday, versus Hope. And it looks like we might be poised to see that again. First pitch to first baseman Hunter Hayes is a strike. 0-1. Zenzel doing a great job so far, just blazing through the Bulldogs. Only one of their players has scored both of their runs. That's Dugan Darnell. Other than that, has done a great job keeping these Bulldogs off balance.
He's working quickly and pounding the strike zone. And his tempo is doing a great job of keeping these Bulldog hitters a little uneasy in the box.
So he blows a 4-seamer by Hunter Hayes right there. He's in the hole, 1-2.
Not necessarily working left and right on the plate, but up and down, moving the ball up near the letters, down in the belt, down by the knees.
That one up by the letters, but it misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And sometimes a change of eye level is even tougher than changing the horizontal axis of the plate. If that makes sense to you, Robbie.
It does. It was my bane when I used to play, so I can only imagine that gets tougher against college competition. 2-2 from Zenzel. Hayes puts a charge into that one, and standing to the track, to the wall. That one's gone. 2-run home run for Hunter Hayes, and the Bulldogs take a 4-3 lead. Unbelievable. Hunter Hayes with his 8th long ball of the season. This Bulldog dugout is fired up.
That is why he is the MIAA Player of the Year. A 2-2 pitch that just hangs in the middle of the plate, and Hayes all over it. A no doubter to left field.
We'll see how the Scots and Zenzel respond. First pitch to Dugan Darnell, a ball. We'll foul that one into the netting. It's 1-1. Well, Hayes was behind in the count 1-2, but it seems like he does his best hitting when there's 2 strikes on him, as Dugan Darnell hits a fly ball in the left field right into the glove of Anstandig for out number 2.
And with Wood on second in a 2-2 count, Zenzel had no choice but to come to him. Had the opportunity to put him on first, but instead decided to pitch. And unfortunately just made one of the few mistakes that he's made so far today.
Off speed low. Count is 1-1 on the designated hitter, Jason Croce. He's 0 for 0 so far today. Walked his first time up. Sacrifice bunt his last time. He's ahead in the count now. 2 balls and 1 strike. There's the pitch from Zenzel. Holds on his swing. 3 balls, 1 strike. The 3-1. Fly ball, foul back to the back 40 practice fields. Count now full, 3-2. Pitch from Dylan Zenzel. Another flare foul. It looks like Hope will have an extra ball to play catch with. The 3-2. And just misses. Zenzel not able to hit the outer black, and Croce aboard with a 2-out walk. So that brings up the right fielder, number 21, Tristan Richardson. Reached on an error his first time up. RBI fly out to the left fielder his last time. First pitch from Zenzel will instead be a pickoff move to first. Tries to drop the bunt down the third base line. Huff charging in and will throw across the diamond for out number 2. Sacrifice bunt for Richardson will move Croce up to second base.
Kind of a late square there. Might have suggested that he was trying to get on base, but either way, able to move that runner up to second base.
Croce now in scoring position. Catcher Frankie Resto looking to extend this lead. Take a first pitch inside for ball 1. That one down the line, fair ball into the corner. Croce hits the bag, he'll score easily. 2-out RBI single for Frankie Resto, and the Bulldogs now lead 5-3.
I was just about to comment on the big hole on the right side, but Resto had other ideas, just roping that one right down the line. And Standig a nice job of getting over and cutting that ball off. Frankie, as we know, not the fleetest of foot, but tacks another insurance run on for the Bulldogs.
Jarrett Coyne calls a meeting with Dylan Zenzel. Tries to calm him down and look for that final out. Bulldogs trying to add as many runs as they can, because with this Alma team, you know that lead is not going to stay the way it is. First pitch to Torreno, up and in on the heater for ball 1. That one fouled back. 1 ball and 1 strike on the shortstop, Jordan Torreno. 0 for 2 so far. A ground out to the first baseman, also flew out to center field. And that one will fall just below the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Wind really blowing out to right field.
Torreno puts 1 down the line, but it's going to be out of play. Foul. Count even now at 2. Torreno still searching for his first hit of the tournament. Half pitch from Zenzel. Little bloop into right field, and that's going to fall between Minato and Finzel for a base hit. So the Bulldogs putting together a little 2-out rally here. Runners on first and second. We'll head back to the top of the lineup at center fielder Zach Schering. 1 for 3 so far, a single, a fly out, and a ground out to short his last time up. It's Torreno, first hit of the tournament.
Zenzel now at 92 pitches on the day, but like we mentioned earlier, Alma used both Riggs and Frontzak yesterday in the contest against Hope, so they definitely want to see him continue grinding this inning out and saving a few arms out in their bullpen.
Strike on the inner half of the plate. Schering now down 0-2. On my research yesterday, I saw Alma has about 7 pitchers they go to throughout the season, so definitely still have some arms that can get batters out. One ball, 2 strikes on Zach Schering. Offering from Zenzel. That one fouled into the netting. Cody's still a stone wall up here. No flinches. And it looks like this press box has brought their A game in the flinch game.
Well, Sean, our producer, yesterday and today was not here during the regular season, but I have to say, doing a lot better job than our other producers in the flinch game.
Schering fooled on the off speed for strike 3, but not before. The Bulldogs score 3 to take the lead, including a 2-run bomb by Hunter Hayes. We'll head to the bottom of inning number 6, 5-3 Adrian College. Keep it tuned right here to the MIAA baseball tournament on ACTV. 4, 5, 6 due up for Alma. Now trailing by a score of 3-5. It's the third baseman Logan Huff set to lead things off. First pitch from Banks, four-seamer in there for strike one. Alma scored 3 runs back in the last inning to take the lead as Huff lays down a bunt, but right to Banks and an easy out number 1 for Adrian. So with 1 out, I'll bring up the right fielder Matt Minato, 0 for 2 so far. Ground out to the shortstop, flew out to center field his last time up.
And Banks, despite facing 8 batters in the last inning, still has a pitch count of only around 70.
Minato hits a towering pop-up on the infield. Darnell and Frankie converging, and Darnell will haul it in for out number 2. So up now is the second baseman, Ben Finzel. 2 for 2 so far today, 2 doubles, and his double in the last inning is what kicked off that 3-run blitz by the Scots. Banks taking his time here, does not want to give up another double or maybe even worse to Finzel. First pitch, a curveball. Finzel swings through for strike 1. Now, should he keep this inning alive, that'd bring up the designated hitter Alex Dwan. Another curveball. Finzel goes fishing, but there's no fish down there to catch. Down in the count now, 0-2. Payoff pitch. Curveball gets away in the turf. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Banks gets the sign from Resto. The pitch. 4-seamer high. Count knotted up now at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Pitch to Finzel. There's a ground ball. Torreno diving stop, long throw. Hayes not able to stay on the bag. It's an infield single for Ben Finzel here with 2 outs.
A nice try but by Torreno. The tough play in the hole, full extension. Throw just a little bit offline. That'll give Finzel his 3rd hit of the day.
So that brings up the designated hitter Alex Dwan. 0 for 1 so far today. A strikeout, walked his last time up, would later score the 2nd run. That first pitch fastball high for a ball. Well, looks like we'll have at least some sun for a little bit. I think that's going to be the story of today, is just
a cloudy,
yeah, when the sun will be here and when the clouds will be here. When the wind will pick up and when the wind will stop.
As long as the wind's not picking up our papers and throwing them on the field, I think I'm good.
We have had that happen. I believe it was the home opener. I lost my sheet at the end of the game. I take that back. That was Heidelberg that happened. Foul ball back. I think we have to give Patrick another -1. He put his hand up for that one.
Sean Kane wants to argue that putting your hands up should be a flinch. We'll talk about it after the game.
Sean, if you put your hands up, then we will give you a -1. It's a pickoff throw over to first base. Finzel back in time. Looks like we have a sore loser over there. The 1-1 pitch to Dwan bounces in the turf. Resto able to block it. 2 balls in, 1 strike.
I think the real disappointment of the game will be that we will not see who will win it between Tyler and Rizzo, who both had 5 before they went home for the summer.
I'm going to give it to Tyler. I feel like Tyler would have won that. He also filled in for us along with Mason, second game of the Albion series, so we were very grateful for that. We hope you enjoyed them. Great guys.
We went back and listened to that game. They were a riot to listen to.
A lot of fun to be around, and we highly appreciate them being a part of the HCTV staff. Hoping they're having a great start to their summer. And hopefully they'll be the voice of the Bulldog baseball team next season if we can convince them to keep it going. 3 balls, 1 strike on the designated hitter, Alex Dwan. 2 outs, pitch from Banks, and he'll lose them. Alma, men on first and second with 2 outs. Jarrett Coyne up to bat. 1 for 2 so far today. Popped out to the third baseman, but his last time up hit an RBI single and would later come around to score. So the Bulldogs have to be careful because this is the part of the Scots order that did some damage. First pitch from Banks. There's a ground ball. Torreno ranges to his left. Long throw to second. And they get Dwan by half a step for out number 3. A couple great plays by Torreno out there. We'll head to the top of inning number 7. Adrian holds on to that 5-3 lead. We'll be right back with more MIAA tournament baseball on your home for Adrian College Athletics. This is AC TV. Top of the 7th inning here in game number 3 of the MIAA tournament. If you're just joining us, Robbie Alexander here with Cody Alexander. Bulldogs 5-3 lead in an exciting Bottom of the 5th, top of the 6th, where the lead was exchanged twice. Last inning, Hunter Hayes with a big 2-run home run to give the Bulldogs the lead, where it now sits by a score of 5-3. Now on the mound for the Scots, it's number 27, Carson Kempa. So Dylan Zenzal's day is over. It's the left fielder Gunnar Rainey, 1-1 right now. He's 0 for 2 so far today. A flyout, a pop out, and a walk. Another ball, 2-1. The 2-1. Hard ground ball into the glove of Huff. There's out number 1.
Well, Kempa comes into the game with 12 appearances on the year. He's made 1 start, owns a 2-3 record with 2 saves. In 27 innings pitched, he owns a 4.67 ERA with 18 strikeouts as opposed to 6 base on balls.
And a look to keep this Adrian lead where it is. Up now for the Bulldogs, it's the second baseman Brady Wood. 1 for 3 so far. Led off the last inning with a double. Will later come around to score on the home run as that pitch hits off a short check swing, and he's quickly in the hole now. No balls and 2 strikes.
And despite giving up 5 runs, Zenzel doing an excellent job. Ran into a bit of trouble that top of the 6th inning, but before that, just doing a great job of pounding the strike zone and getting weak contact from the Bulldog hitters.
As we see Kempa able to do right there with Wood. Soft tapper to short, but Acker with a routine play for out number 2. So up now is the heavy-hitting first baseman Hunter Hayes. 1 for 3 so far today. 2 groundouts to third base, but his last time up, 2-run bomb to left field. First pitch, 4-seamer hangs high. 1 ball and no strikes. That one finds the strike zone, even at 1. Inner part of the black, 1-2. Nice crowd here at Nicolay Field today, but surprisingly, nobody out on the mound. Nice piece of real estate. We might see somebody there by the end of the week as Hayes fooled. Will look to be a changeup there for Kempa. Bulldogs go down in short order, but keep that 5-3 lead. Time for the 7th inning stretch. I know I'll do it in the press box. We hope you do it at home, and we'll be right back with more MIAA baseball here on ACTV. We just finished our 7th inning stretch. We hope you did at home as well. Refreshed your beverages, maybe grilled a couple hot dogs. It is lunchtime.
They must have had that grill smoking if they
grilled
boiled, a couple
of
hot dogs in that short a time.
Maybe microwaved it. That's a thing with hot dogs. But nonetheless, welcome back to game number 3 of the MIAA tournament. 5-3 Bulldog lead.
Actually, I could go for a hot dog right now.
We'll see if we can sneak one in between this game and the next. Four-seamer a little bit high and outside, and the count is now 2-0 on the center fielder, Pete Caravala. 9-1-2 due up for the Scots. Another fastball hangs outside, 3-0.
Banks now at 81 pitches on the day. No action in the Adrian bullpen. Still plenty of pitches to work with.
So that one finds the zone, 3-1. 6 hits for both sides so far today. No errors for the Bulldogs, 2 for the Scots. And a check swing right into the glove of Banks. Easy flip for out number 1. Back to the top of the order, it's the first baseman, Max Trucks. 0 for 3 so far today. Strikeout, ground out, last at bat, reached on a fielder's choice. It would end up being stranded at second base. First pitch from Banks. Just a bit outside, 1 ball, no strikes.
And really, Banks has kept the top of the Scots order in check. It is the bottom of the order that has given him fits so far.
That heater high, 2-0. Looks like Banks lost his footing a little bit out there. The 2-0 pitch. Fouled back on the left side. 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, it looks cloudy on the broadcast now, but I can assure you, looks like we have some clear skies headed our way in just a moment. It's the offering from Banks in the turf. 3-1 on Trucks. Left fielder Jordan Anstandig over on the on-deck paw. The 3-1. Too far outside. And Max Trucks aboard with a 1-out walk here in the bottom of the 7th. So up now is the left fielder Jordan Anstandig. 1 for 3 so far today. 2 ground outs. RBI single his last time up. Darnell pulled in over at third base. First pitch from Banks shows bunt, but in the turf for ball 1. Coach Rainey calling a timeout for a little mound visit. Some rumblings over in the Bulldog bullpen, but it does not look like anybody's actively warming up. Until now, that is. Pitcher now up and throwing in the bullpen. I was just ahead of the game right there.
Well, Adrian only a 2-run lead, and we saw earlier how quickly that can vanish. Definitely want to win this game and get the automatic ticket into tomorrow morning.
So we'll see how much leeway Coach Rainey gives Banks here. 1 out in the bottom of inning number 7. Man on first base, and he's had some trouble finding the strike zone so far. We'll see if he can change the tune with the left fielder Jordan Anstandig.
Yeah, no walks in the first 5 innings.
Oh, back up the gut and off the glove of Banks. Single into center field. Pierce not happy that he was not able to glove it, but that was a hot shot. And the Scots men on first and second now. Shortstop Van Acker now digs in. 0 for 3 so far. Strikeout, 2 flyouts. And once again, we can hear the Alma Scots dugout starting to come back to life. Only trailed by 2. Ground ball right down the line, and that's going to get into the corner. Trucks going around. He'll score easily. It bounces around, and it's an RBI double, complete with the head-first slide by Van Acker. The Scots now trail by 1 by a score of 5-4.
It's a pitch low in the zone, but catches a little bit too much of the plate. He just gets around it and ropes it right down that line. And Banks, runners on second and third, and he's facing the 4 and 5 hitters, Huff and Minato, both who have serious power potential at the plate.
So up now is third baseman Logan Huff. 0 for 3 so far today. Anstandig over at third base. Acker at second. He represents the go-ahead run. First pitch. High chopper. Darnell will check at third. Long throw to first. For out number 2, runners will hold. The Bulldogs catch a break right there. So now it's player of the week, Matt Minato, looking for that 2-out RBI to put his team ahead here in game number 3. He's 0 for 3 so far, a pop out, a fly out, and a ground out.
Minato, 39 RBI coming into today, slugging .500.
Now watch that first offering high for ball 1. Now if Banks unable to get this out, that would bring up the second baseman Ben Finzel, who is 3 for 3 so far today. The 1-0. Fouls that one off of Frankie's mask. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Big swing there by Minato. Pitch down in the zone. Banks left that one up a little more. We might have seen the Scats running the bases.
One pitch to Minato. Bender hangs high. 2 balls and 1 strike. The 2-1. High, towering pop-up. Frankie looking, and he makes the catch up against the fence. You couldn't see it on the broadcast, but a great play by Resto as he watched that ball all the way, almost off the netting, but instead, Alma strands 2 on. They get a run to cut the lead by 1. But a big break there by Adrian. We head to the top of inning number 8, 5-4 Bulldogs. We'll be back with more MIAA baseball action on ACTV. Top of inning number 8. Alma scored 1 in the bottom of the 7th. The Bulldogs now only lead by 1. It's a score of 5-4, and third baseman Dugan Darnell up to bat. Another ball high from Kempa, 2-0. Now that inning ended on a great catch up against the fence by catcher Frankie Resto. And Cody, you were telling me in the break just how tough of a play that is for the catcher.
Yeah, off the bat it looked like it might have gone out, but pop-ups right behind the dish with the spin always come back. And that ball, like, I don't know if I can like describe it enough, but it was almost scraping the net on its way down. Resto never giving up on it. And really it was a great play to end the inning.
Darnell up in the count, 3-1. Pitch from Kempa. Finds the outer black. Darnell thought he had ball 4, but he'll stay in as it's now full 3-2.
After I said like about 5 times describing that play, but being a former catcher, that was a tough play.
Hard ground ball over to Finzel at second. Out number 1. I'll bring up the number 6 hitter, the designated hitter, Jason Croce. 0 for 0. It's unusual to hear this late in the game, but he has 2 walks and a sacrifice bunt. He takes strike 1 at the knees. Offering from Kempa. Too far inside, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Can't check his swing there. 1 ball in, 2 strikes on Croce. High chopper over to third. Huff will back up, long throw, and gets him by half a step for out number 2.
Nice play by Huff over at third, deciding to stay back and field it on the hop, knowing he had the arm strength to get it across the diamond.
So with 2 down now, that'll bring up the right fielder, Tristan Richardson. He's 0 for 1 so far. Reached on an error his first time up, but then had a sacrifice fly and a sacrifice bunt his last time up. A 0-1 pitch from Kempa. Outer half of the plate. Richardson quickly in the hole now. 0-2. Payoff pitch from Carson Kempa. That one poked into the left center gap. That's going to fall for a base hit, maybe even more. Carl Val gets to it. Richardson, a big turn. And he's aboard with a 2-out single. That brings up the catcher, Frank Resto. RBI single his last time up. And time is called.
Coach Jake Sabal trying to calm his pitcher down.
Well, Alma only trails by 1 run, so they definitely don't want to make it more, especially with only 2 at-bats left to their name. Alma bullpen behind that big right field fence, so we can't really tell if anybody's warming up, but I can definitely say that there are some Scots stretching out there just in case. First pitch from Kempa in the turf for ball 1.
Are you sure those are Alma Scots? Because earlier you confused them with the Calvin Knights.
I am sure that they are Alma. Mainly because I don't see any other Knights out there. I'm playing the numbers game. Resto takes a strike at the belt, 1-1.
Can we trust that? We know where you're not that good with numbers.
But I can count. Which is all I need right now. 1-1 pitch to Resto. Is instead a pickoff move over to first. Kempo working that left side of the rubber. Resto, big cut there, fooled on the off speed. He's in the hole now, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now should he keep the inning going, we'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Jordan Torrento. Payoff pitch from Kempa. Fouls that one back to stay in the count. Still 1-2.
A lot of outside pitches to Resto these last few at-bats. It was an outside pitch that he was able to lace down the third base line back in the 6th for an RBI single. But chased and down and away off speed back in the 4th to strike out.
Kempa making sure Richardson doesn't get too far off the bag.
Big hole on the right side too, with Finzel playing close to the bag, so if they keep pounding him outside, he might be able to hit that hole.
Another pickoff move, and Richardson froze. Not back in time. Pickoff by Kempa. And we'll head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Still a 5-4 Adrian College lead. Alma running out of chances. We'll see if they can tie it or even retake the short lead they had. Do you think they can do it? We'll see next on ACTV. Coach Rainey turning to his number 3 here to shut down the Alma Scots as they are looking for a one-way ticket to the finals tomorrow afternoon. They hold on to a 1-run lead. It's 5-4. Number 30, Jordan Williams, now towing the rubber. 6, 7, 8 due up for the Scots, starting with Ben Finzel, 3 for 3 so far today, and he'll watch a first pitch heater in there for a strike.
Well, Williams, a first-team All-MIAA selection with all of his work in conference coming as a starter, but not unused to, or excuse me, not unfamiliar with the bullpen role. He even recorded a save back in the spring trip during March. But one of the top pitchers in the MIAA this year statistically In 11 appearances and 8 games started, he owns an 8-0 record. 59 innings pitched, has a 2.14 ERA, 61 strikeouts to 20 walks, and also has 2 complete games under his belt.
Definitely somebody that the Bulldogs are confident in. Banks finished his day 99 pitches, 60 of them strikes, and he really, except for those couple innings, didn't do a bad job as Williams starts his day by tossing a chair for 1 out.
Yeah, complete dominance through the first 4 innings, ran into trouble in the 5th, giving up 3 runs and going through 8 different batters. Settled back down in the 6th, gave up 1 more run in the 7th before getting Minato to pop out. But those last few innings just having trouble locating the ball, but overall a great performance by Banks.
So now up for Alma College, it's the designated hitter Alex Dwan. 2 walks so far today, also scored a run. He's up in the count 1-0. Pitch from Williams. Bounces off the turf. 2 balls in, no strikes. Two-0 pitch. That one fouled straight back into the parking lot. 2 balls in, 1 strike. And just a bit outside. 3 balls and 1 strike on Alex Dwan. Catcher Jarrett Coyne on deck. Pitch from Williams. Just a little too far inside. It's a 1-out walk for Dwan, 3rd of the day. So as we said, it's the catcher Jarrett Coyne now up to bat. 1 for 3 so far today. Fielder's choice, a pop out. Also had an RBI single back in that 3-run 5th inning. As you just heard, PA announcer Dave Van Giesen said, pinch runner for Alma. Tying run on first base for the Scots. First pitch to Coyne. In there for strike 1. Eight hits on the day for Alma. The 0-1 in the turf, blocked by Resto. One. Hard ground ball, and that's going to get through the hole for a base hit. Scanzano will hold that second, and Alma runners on first and second with only 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Williams will have to buckle down here to get to the number 9 hitter, center fielder Pete Caravala. RBI single today. It's also grounded out and flown out. As we saw from that RBI single, has a clutch swing, and with 2 runners on here in the later innings, you can't count him out. Fastball in the turf, 1 ball and no strikes. That one just finds the bottom of the strike zone. It's 1-1. Field in double play depth. Darnell a few steps in. Hayes a few steps back on the lefty. Pitch from Williams. Shows bunt. Pulls back just in the nick of time. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Two-one pitch to Caravala. Soft tapper over to second base. Hayes will make the tag for 1. That's all he'll get. Escanzano will move over to third. Alma is in the corners. There with 2 outs.
Just a little outside breaking ball that Caravala can't wait on, gets out in front of. Hayes shows off his range there, and instead of taking the chance with the throw, just makes the running tag on Coyne to retire him at second.
And Coyne stayed on second for a second. I don't think he thought that Hayes made the tag, but Arthur Castillo says otherwise. So back to the top of the Alma lineup. It's 1 ball and no strikes on the first baseman, Max Trucks. Walked his last time up, would later come around to score, which made the game 5-4, which is where we stand right now. Pitch from William again in the turf. He's having some trouble finding the strike zone, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Not only trouble finding the strike zone, trouble getting ahead of hitters, and with the top of the lineup coming to the plate, you definitely do not want to get them in a good hitter's count, especially with a runner on third and only a single run for your lead.
2-0 from Williams in the turf again. 3 balls and no strikes. The 3-0. Bottom of the strike zone, 3-1. Well, should he keep the inning going, it's left fielder Jordan and Standig on deck. His last 2 at-bats, 2 for 2 with 2 singles. And that one finds the black. Trucks thought ball 4, but Jeffrey calls him back. Williams battles back. 3 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Williams gets the sign from Resto. Payoff pitch. High pop-up. Darnell circles around the bag, and he'll haul it in for out number 3. Bulldogs escape the jam, and we head to the top of inning number 9, 5-4 Adrian College. And what has been a nail-biter of a game in this MIAA tournament. We'll see how game number 3 finishes. Don't touch the dial, the clicker, or whatever you use to change the YouTube channel, because we'll be right back with more college baseball on ACTV. Top of the 9th inning in game number 3. If you're just joining us, Robbie Alexander with my colleague Cody Alexander. The Bulldogs grip to a 1-run lead. They lead 5-4 over the Alma Scots. Now remember, whoever wins this game gets a automatic bid in the finals tomorrow. The loser will have to play in an elimination game at 5 later today. And Frankie Resto, the catcher, is a 1-1 count on him. So you remember the last inning was batting, but Richardson picked off a first to end it, so he gets a fresh count. Now up 2 balls, 1 strike. Pitch from Carson Kempa. Skies a pop-up in the shallow right field, right into the glove of Matt Minato for out number 1. So I'll bring up the shortstop, Jordan Torrento, 1 for 3, singled his last time up, also has a ground out and a fly out. The Scots making sure this 1-run lead stays a 1-run lead. One-0 pitch to Torrento. Shows bunt. Pull back and take strike number 1. That one in and out of the glove for Coyne. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. 7 hits so far for the Bulldogs. That one down the line, but a foul ball, 2-2. Two-two pitch from Kempa. Breaking ball just a little bit inside, and the count runs full, 3-2. Kempa not necessarily agreeing with that one.
Yeah, it was a nice breaking ball in the inner part of the plate. Looked like it might have caught the black, but not the case.
3-2 pitch. Taps that one foul, and the count stays the same. Offering to Torrento. Outside, and he draws the walk with 1 out. We head back to the top of the Adrian College lineup at center fielder Zach Schering. 1 for 4 so far. Singled back in the 3rd inning. Other than that, a ground out, fly out, and a strikeout his last time up. Big lead at first base by Torrento. First pitch from Kempa in there for strike 1.
We'll have to be careful. Kempa already shows that he can get you picking off Richardson in the last inning.
He throws over there, but Torrento read that one a mile away, and he's back easily.
Kempa already showing that he's not afraid to throw over more than twice in a row. I think it was the 2nd or 3rd time when he got Richardson.
He throws over again right there to no avail. This one a little step and throw. Torrento right back off the bag, and it's a game of cat and mouse between Carson Kempa and Jordan Torrento. This time he'll come to the plate, put a four-seamer outside for ball 1.
Well, Torrento is 9 for 9 this year in stolen base attempts, but with only a 1-run lead in the heart of your order coming up, I don't think they're going to risk it here.
Another pickoff move by Kempa. The 1-1. Bender, but he can't snap it off, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Two 1 to Sharing. Just a little below the strike zone. 3 balls and 1 strike. That one low again. Ball 4. Bulldogs have something cooking with 1 out. Runners on first and second. Kempa issues 2 consecutive walks. Coyne will take a moment to talk with his pitcher. Up now is the left fielder Gunnar Rainey. He's 0 for 3 so far. A walk, ground out, pop out, and a fly out. So he's done everything but get a hit, basically. We'll see if he can get one right here to extend the Adrian College lead.
Well, speed on second with Torrento. And Standig playing no doubles depth, so you got to think a base hit into the outfield. They might try to send Torrento and get that insurance run.
And instead, Coach Sable going to his bullpen. We'll let this mystery man get on the field, get some warm-up throws in. We'll figure out who he is, and we'll be right back with more Adrian College, Alma College MIAA Tournament Baseball here on ACTV. Welcome back to game number 3 here in the MIAA tournament. Adrian with a 5-4 lead here in the top of the 9th. 2 runners on, 1 out. And a new pitcher for the Scots. It's number 26, Jordan Masters, who will look to stifle the lineup. Up now is the left fielder Gunnar Rainey, and hits that one right to the shortstop. He'll flip on to third for 1. That's all they'll get. There are now 2 down, still runners on first and second.
Bit of a stall there by Torreno at second. I think he might have thought that that ball would have a little more carry and that the shortstop Acker would have caught it on a line, but instead it short hops and he's forced out at third.
So I'll bring up the second baseman, number 3, Brady Wood. 1 for 4 so far. Ground out, strikeout, fly out. Also doubled. And he hits a sky-high pop-up into shallow left center, and Caravallo will be the one to make the catch. So the Bulldogs threaten but can't score. They carry a 1-run lead into the bottom of the 9th. Last call for the Alma Scots. It's 5-4. We'll be right back with more MIAA tournament baseball here on ACTV. Time to pay the piper. If you're Alma College, they trail by 1 here in the bottom of the 9th. 5-4 Bulldogs. And 2-3-4 due up for the Scots, starting with the left fielder Jordan Anstandig. Jordan Williams toes the mound for the second inning of work and fires a heater in there for strike 1. Takes a little off of that one, but can't find the strike zone. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Even though this game is being played in Adrian, Alma is the home team, so if they score 2 runs in this inning, then they will go to Friday's game automatically.
A Merry Christmas there for the Bulldogs as Hayes drops to a knee. Hard hit ball by Anstandig, but all he comes up with is out number 1. I'll bring up the shortstop Van Acker. Doubled his last time up. Also has 2 flyouts and a strikeout. And he watches a off-speed pitch in there for strike 1. Well, this isn't technically an elimination game, but both teams playing like it. And Acker fouls out 1 to the right side. It's going to find its way out of play. Quickly in the hole now. No balls and 2 strikes.
Well, whoever loses this game has to play at least an extra 9 innings. And you don't want to put that kind of wear on your bullpen, especially when if you win that game tonight, you have to play 1, maybe 2 more tomorrow to get the bid into the regionals.
And Alma has used quite a few pitchers so far, and like we said, they have a deep bullpen. You want to make sure you have fresh arms if you make it to those championship games. And Acker puts a charge in that one all the way to the track. Rainey will make the catch 2 steps from the wall. And the Alma Scots down to their final out.
A hard hit ball by Acker, just a hair out in front.
So it's up to the third baseman, Logan Huff. He'll try to keep this inning going at the very least. 0 for 3 so far today as a sacrifice, and that one right into the glove of Williams. He'll flip on the first, and the Bulldogs punch their ticket to the finals. They win by a score of 5-4 in a nail-biter. This is the game we were expecting to see between the number 1 and number 2 seeds, and we got it. A couple lead changes. Great baseball all around. And Cody, what did you take out of this?
Just 2 hard, scrappy teams going up against one another. Really could have gone either way. Another lead change. We saw Alma go back and forth with Hope yesterday. They did not give up. Came back from a 2-run deficit to take a 3-2 lead, almost came back again. So it'll definitely be interesting to see what they do in their 5 o'clock game. We saw them use a few more of their arms. But again, if these 2 teams end up on Friday, if it's Adrian and Alma, it'll be another hard-fought game, maybe another 2 hard-fought games.
So Pierce Banks picks up the win right there. Williams with the save. Like Cody was saying, what a game to be a part of. Adrian, congratulations on punching your one-way ticket to the finals. Alma not out of it yet. Up next is Calvin and Hope. That will be at 2 o'clock. Calvin will be the home team, and whoever wins that will face Alma at 5, as Cody said. Tomorrow afternoon will be Adrian against the winner of game number 5. That will be at 12. Now, if Adrian wins that game, they will automatically be the MIAA champion. Should they lose, we'll go to a game number 7. That will be at 3 tomorrow, and then whoever wins that will officially be your MIAA tournament champion and will get a bid to the regional finals. But we're going to keep it right here. It's the all-conference awards as all 4 teams line up. Me and Cody are going to sign off until 2 o'clock. This has been Robbie Alexander with Cody Alexander. Enjoy the awards ceremony. And once again, Adrian wins by a score of 5-4. Keep it tuned right here to ACTV.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please direct your attention to your home plate to welcome MIAA Commissioner Penny Allen Cook and Adrian College Director of Athletics Mike Duffy to recognize the 2018 All-Michigan Intercollegiate Athletic Association baseball teams as selected by the conference's 8 head coaches. Here is the All-MIAA second team. First, a pitcher from Adrian College, Pierce Banks. Banks is a sophomore from Sterling Heights, Michigan. Pitcher Eric Franczak from Alma College. Eric is a senior from Naperville, Illinois. Pitcher Trevor Van Dyne from Calvin College. Trevor is a sophomore from Jenison, Michigan. At second base, Ricky Padilla from Calvin College. Ricky is a freshman from Hawaii, California. At third base, Logan Huff, Alma College. Logan is a sophomore from Johannesburg, Michigan. At shortstop, Jordan Fairchild, Hope College. Jordan is a junior from Muskegon, Michigan. The outfield, Matt Madano from Alma College. senior from Clinton Township, Michigan. Also in the outfield, Mason Apple from Hope College. Mason is a sophomore from Hudsonville, Michigan. Our final outfielder is Ryan Hengria from Calvin College. Ryan is a junior from Lake Forest, California. Ladies and gentlemen, the All-MIAA second team. And now for the All-MIAA first team. At pitcher is three-time choice Tommy Parsons, Adrian College. Tommy is a senior from New Albany, Ohio. Also a pitcher, Jordan Williams, Adrian College. Jordan is a freshman from Westland, Michigan. At first base, Hunter Hayes, Adrian College. Hunter is a senior from Adrian, Michigan. At second base, Brady Wood, Adrian College. Brady is a sophomore from Frankenmuth, Michigan. At third base, Nate Deswad, Calvin College. It is a senior from Hamilton, Michigan. In the outfield is Evan Mayday, Hope College. Evan is a freshman from Kentwood, Michigan. Also in the outfield is Gunnar Rainey, Adrian College. There is a sophomore from Adrian, Michigan. And the utility position is John Keene, Calvin College. John is a senior from Waukesha, Wisconsin. Ladies and gentlemen, here is a list of all MIAA athletes that were unable to be with us today. Catcher Alex Foltz from Kalamazoo College. Alex is a junior from Warren, Michigan. First baseman Jacob Heller, Trine University, a junior from Fort Wayne, Indiana. And in the utility position, Jack Wyman, Alma College, a senior from Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, on the All-MIAA second team. And from the first team, three-time pitcher Ryan Orr, Kalamazoo College, senior, DeWitt, Michigan. Catcher Kevin O'Malley, Trine University, senior, South Lyon, Michigan. Shortstop, Jordan Wiley, Kalamazoo College, junior, Rochester, Michigan. And outfielder Riley Stasiak, Albion College, sophomore from South Bend, Indiana. Ladies and gentlemen, your All-MIAA baseball teams. And now presenting the major individual award winners. The MIAA Pitcher of the Year for a third consecutive season. From Adrian College, Tommy Parsons. And the 2018 winner of the MIAA Position Player of the Year from Adrian College, Hunter Hayes. Congratulations on your performance during the regular season and best best of luck to you and your teams in postseason play. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a final round of applause for these deserving